All right, we're back with another car from the BMW DLC. This time we're working on a 74 BMW 2002 Turbo, which you can see is not in that great a shape. The body in particular is pretty bad, but we're going to fix that. We'll get this up to 100%, give it a nice neat paint job, new tires, all that stuff. Get her looking like $1,000,000 again. All right. So, first things first, go ahead and take care of the frame. Sure, why not? You can see she's got, looks like a rather nifty little small block engine in there. Be interesting to see what kind of numbers we get when we get to the dyno part of the video. But yeah, let's get rid of this. Don't need it anymore. And yeah, we're missing a few parts. You know, here and there. We can fix that too. Get her looking like as good as the... Oh, the fenders come off. Okay. That interesting fender design there. Okay. Turn signals come out? Nope. Grill work? Nope. Apparently that's part of the frame too. Okay, that's not bad. Get the rest of this stuff. Fix what we can, replace what we can't. Let's see, that one's part of the body. So, okay, fine. Okay, looks like we're missing a tail light. And body should be 1%. Okay. Just kind of looking over it, making sure we're not missing something else here. Got all the windows, got all the doors. Got a little sunroof or moonroof, whichever that is. That doesn't come out either. I figured I'd check. But yeah. Let's see what we can fix. Ooh, got that one. Oh, these these mini games, man. I tell you. All right, nothing there. Okay, surprised. Okay, so let's sort by condition. Excuse me. So we got some stuff to put back on, but not very many. So the trunk and rear bumper thing. That back on. On with the bumper. What else? The mirror we can't put on because the door's toast. That other mirror can't be fixed. We could do the front bumper. And the rest of it's just going to have to wait. Oh, wait, no, we could do the... Which bumper is that? Come on. Front left. Okay, driver's side. Go. That. And like I said, that last part's gonna... Yeah, it's waiting on the new left door. Okay. So, let's mark the rest of these. Then we'll sell the stuff that's not in good condition. Just like that. We're going to do this in a couple of steps here, so just be patient. Okay, that was front right door window. Okay. Right tail light. that means we need a left tail light. Go ahead and buy that. Windshield, good. Right headlight. We need probably a left tail or left headlight as well. Front left door window. Okay, left body window. Got you. And of course the door that goes with it. Front right door. Right side mirror, so we get a matching set. Front right fender. We'll just not and say we did that one. I couldn't remember if it was on the list and I didn't bother checking. My bad. Anyway. That was very scuffed, but... Alright, we did get the rest of these in there first. Now, hands up, metaphorically speaking, in chat of this video. How many people out there have seen cars like this that are pieced together and have like 2 or 3 different colors for everything? I've done that with a car in the past. My first car I ever had, which was an 82 Oldsmobile, we got into an accident, found some parts of the junkyard, and they were a completely different color from the rest of the car, and I had to save up the money to get it painted. And oh, we forgot to take the license. Wait, what the hell? Okay, usually just leaves a white outline for the license plate, but interesting. Sorry, I got distracted there, but yeah, like I said, I drove around with it in like 2 or 3 different colors for a long time. Until I got around to getting the new paint job done, and then spent a little more time trying to save up more money. Put a cloth roof on the back because it had like a cloth roof on the top and the rear pillars that run the back of the car. Yeah, it looked kind of sketch there for a while, but man, it looked great once I got done with it though. Everything in pieces there. Well, is that the only other part we're missing? I think so. We'll get the license plate on a separate step. Actually, scratch that. We'll go ahead and get it here. We'll get the hood first. And then put that on. It almost doesn't look bad with the matte paint, but we'll see when we get there. So license plates, backup plates. Gonna do a standard one. Custom plate. There we go. You have a license plate on front? Yes, you do. I should have bought a second one. This really should just... This interface needs to be updated. I thought it had just the one rear license plate. But apparently it has both. Just pretend we did that on one whack. Okay. So we're gonna do the tires next. Well, let's do the paint first, and then we'll do the tires, and we could do the interior after that. And you know, there's as long as we get everything, it doesn't matter exactly which order we do it in. So go. You know, I was missing a step there somewhere. Okay, let's take a look and see what we got here in terms of liveries here. Let's see, livery set. Well, with the right chassis paint or body paint, that might actually look halfway decent. We did the previous car in this series, or in this DLC with that paint job, so. Okay, so really do much for me except the spoiler looks kind of nice. Or we got that, or we got that. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now you're talking. Maybe. Yeah. If we could do something with this. That looks like, you know, some generic texture there. Now we're talking. We're gonna probably want something dark. Because if we like switch over to the liveries and do like that, you can't hardly see that with that paint job. Maybe. Maybe. You know, I'm not like super hating that. I've seen weirder combos on like the real thing or cars that look close to this. Good enough for government work. I wanted something other than just the generic white, silver, or excuse me, white, gray, or black, or tan colors that typically, you know, gets put on these fancy cars. Wanted something a little different, but not too opulent, you know? I think this works. Yeah, good enough. All right. Kind of almost has a Mustang feel to it with that kind of that light blue like that. I'm digging it. All right, let's get this thing up in the air. Actually, before we do that even, let's do the usual stuff here. Pull all the fluids that we can from up here. Okay. See if we're missing any parts here in the engine compartment. Yeah, I was just double checking, make sure we don't have a we'll get that underneath. Got that. We got that. Got that. Oh, wait. Yeah. I just want to make sure we didn't have like power steering reservoir to worry about. Doesn't look like we do. Good. One less thing to worry about. We'll get the oil when we get her up in the air. Naturally. Ew, look at that. That oil was no good. Alright. Are you using 2 tire sizes or just one? Okay, it looks like just one. And they're 13-inch tires? Seriously. Wow, okay. We'll replace the tires with the 100% version of what's already on there. And let's see if we can't get the rims fixed up. The rims look a little crunchy, but not too bad. I mean, she's rusted out, but most of it looks like she's mostly there. Good for us, you know. Alright, let's tear these apart. Gee, I wonder what the intent for this car was with these tires. I'd imagine almost like it was maybe built for like being a track car or something. We're not going to take it on the track, but we'll do speed runs to see how fast it can go, but that's about it. All right. Okay, looks like we're able to take care of the rims, and those are all shiny and happy and 100% now. So, and get rid of these tires. Awesome. Get some new ones here. Let's see. 185.70. Oh, 70. 185.70 R13. Okay. 185.70 R13. Okay, good. Good. Alright. Tires back together, get them balanced, and we'll hold on to them until we get the suspension redone. Okay. Get them balanced. All right, that's one down. Two down. And that's three. Should be number 4. Okay. So those are all good to go. Actually, there is one more thing I want to take care of first. I just about forgot about it. Or something along those lines. Okay, interior disassemble. Bench. Go. Got the front seats and the steering wheel. I almost forgot to do the interior. Yep, wrong door. There we go. You'd go to interiors and then get the stuff. Yeah, I forgot to take the vintage tires off there. So 2 front seats. The back bench. And steering wheel. Yep. Come on. There we go. No. We need that. There we go. Okay, so the body, frame, and interior are now 100%. Good stuff. All right. Now we can put her up in the air and start working on all this nonsense. Always put you at a weird camera angle for these things. All right. We're going to hold on to that as well until we get the suspension redone. Now, go over here and start tearing in to this damn thing. All right. Pushing out. These leaf springs off here. Like peeling an onion. Okay, there's that side. Let's go over here and do the same thing again. Yep, come on. There you go. Okay, get you bolts out of this side, and of course they're both rusted. Come on. There you go. There's the rear suspension. Now we'll focus on getting the front torn apart. Get it all off the system. Or off the car, rather. Now if that comes. And get the shock absorber. Go. Just tie rod off here. There we go. Suspension arm next. And off we come with that. I'll just get these bushings out of the way, and then we can move over to the other side and do the same stuff all over again. Come on. There you go. Like I said, once you play this enough, you just kind of get, you know, like pattern down. And it goes pretty smooth most of the time. Unless you're missing a ton of parts, but even then that doesn't generally slow you down that much. Oh, there we go. And some of this stuff you almost need a tetanus shot to work on. Holy crap, if this stuff's rusted. Good thing it's virtual. Almost forgot the sway bar. There we go. You got nothing back there. That looks clear. Everything looks clear up front. All right. Let's get those, see if we could save some of those rotors. Oh good, we can fix all of them. This will save us a few bucks. Not like in a huge way, but, you know, every little bit can help. I tried on a previous video to do like some of the performance parts for the suspension, but I don't think we even found hardly anything. It could be just specific to the car, so, but yeah. Most of the time, if we're going to do performance parts on these builds, it's going to be for the engine itself and maybe the exhaust. Okay, I think that's all of them. Yep. Okay. One last thing I forgot to do here, which was separate out the front shocks here. Alright. Here's where we're going to spend a good bit of time here playing this mini game over and over again, trying to fix up as many parts as we can. Now there are certain things like bushings and brake pads and stuff like that that are obviously not fixable. So we will still have to buy some, but if we can fix most of them up, that'll mean that much less we have to buy later. Oh man. At least I didn't fail it. Almost there. Almost there. Cool. I think that was vast majority of them. Or at least a fair bit of them. We got to like page 3 out of 4 before we start seeing stuff we couldn't fix. And like I said, a lot of these things like the rubber bushings and the shocks, you're not fixing those. Same with like the brake pads, and this is actually pretty darn good considering. But yeah, let's do an inventory of what we need, and then we'll sell off the parts that we can't fix, buy all new, and go from there. All right, get rid of the junk parts. All right, good to go. Just go here because we're not going to bother looking for performance parts at this stage. 2 rear springs. 2 sway bar end links. Got you. Full set of brake pads. 2 front shock caps. 10 rubber bushings. Okay, 2 rear shock caps. Couple of front springs. 2 front shocks. Okay, got your inner tie rods. Hubcaps. 2 rear shocks. Okay, 2 hub bearings. Get ourselves a sway bar. And a couple of outer tie rods. Alright, before we dig into the car, let's get these put back together. Let's see, let's do the front first. Okay. Get the center part and then we'll work on each side independently. Got the shock put in. Get that end link put on now we have that shock installed. Alright, just kind of go very smoothly here. Just get this one side put together and then we'll flip over and take care of the other. Yeah, might as well go ahead and put the tire on, I guess. It's all the same size tire, so we don't have to worry about making sure the front one's on the front and so on. Okay. one step at a time here. Yep, oh, back up. Accidentally clicked on the wrong part twice there. Sometimes you do that and it sends you like clear across the car and you're like, you just kind of mutter under your breath and keep clicking until you get back to where you want to be. There goes tire number 2. Check this before we go, make sure we're not missing anything. I think good to go on this one. Alright, focus on the back part of the suspension, or the rear suspension. Okay, got the spring and the cap on. Plate on. These U-bolts put back on this side. There we go. And a tire to finish it off. Want to do a quick check, make sure we're not missing anything. Looks like everything's there. Alright, let's go to the other side and do the same thing here. And let's get the leaf spring stuff set up here. Get the last of the U-bolts put in. There we go. The hub. Solid rear axles. Shaft. Go. Like I said, relatively simple back end on this. It's not terribly complicated, and that's good. Okay, got just the drive shaft, which we're not ready to put on back yet. There's still other stuff we want to take care of. So, right now, we're gonna go ahead and take care of the fuel tank and the fuel pump. Once we get that, we'll get the exhaust taken care of. Once the exhaust is done, then we focus on the engine and the engine compartment. So that's kind of our plan of action here. Assembly, here we go. Grab that stuff too while we're looking at it. Okay, so none of this is getting fixed up, so we're just going to grab all new stuff. The exhaust is going to get performance parts. The fuel pump's going to as well. The only thing it's not getting a performance part equivalent is the fuel tank. Oh, pardon me. Still burping up lunch. Let's see. Tune-up shop. Got a fuel pump. Thank you. Tank is not performance, but everything else is, so we'll get the rear muffler first. And front exhaust. And the middle muffler. Alright. Grab ourselves an ordinary fuel tank. And there we go. See if we could be sneaky about this and just put the exhaust system in while we're back here. And there we go. Looking pretty good. Alright, so we've already drained the fluids. So we should be pretty far along here. Yeah, 77% part quality. That leaves us just, like I said, the engine compartment and the engine itself. Which, before we take the engine off, we gotta take this thing off. Now we should be free and clear. I don't know if it's going to require the exhaust taken off, because some cars do when you work on them in this game, and some cars don't. Also, another thing I want to go check is, does this gearbox have a performance equivalent? I'm in the wrong shop for that. Let's go here. It does. We'll get rid of that one and see if we can't fix up that starter. Cool. It's like a 1% difference, but yeah. Okay, so that's all cleared off. Excuse me. Alright, let's get you down on the ground here so we can cherry pick that engine out. Okay, through the bit of video game magic here, we're gonna pull the engine out straight through the hood. No problem, no questions asked. Yeah, this one's going to need a fair bit of work. But at least it looks like it's mostly complete, which is good. So what I typically do with these in this series, if anybody's watching this for like the first time and are actually watching this far in, typically all I save is the engine block and the crankshaft, and then everything else gets replaced. As many performance parts as possible, and yeah, that's pretty much how we work here. Oh yeah, it's old enough to have the cooling fan or the radiator fan on the engine itself. Haven't seen one of those in a while. Or as the young kids say, that's so vintage. Can't even say that with a straight face. Actually, they don't even say this is vintage anymore. They just say this is flat out ancient. I don't keep up with the young people's lingo anymore. I tried. Really? Okay. That's an interesting design. This is what I like about some of these DLCs. They actually put the thought into making the engines close to their real life counterparts. And you just kind of, I like that moment where you just kind of look at the stuff and go, oh, wait. I've had some real head scratchers on some of the previous cars. And And those head scratchers are nice because it gives you a nice little change of pace from, you know, the stuff that you're used to seeing in this game. Especially if it's some of the DLCs that didn't have a huge amount of extra, you know, parts or custom engines, and they just used the off-the-shelf stuff. So you end up seeing this really nice looking car that just uses a generic V8 that's in the non-DLC cars. Again, not a bad thing necessarily, just when you get through a lot of the non-DLC cars and you start doing the DLC stuff, you start going, hey, I recognize that. Okay, now we can finally take that off. So what are, okay, but now we can take the cover off. Good. Oh, massive timing shoes. Okay, out comes the camshaft. Alright, time to flip this thing on its side. Before we get that, let's get all the clutch parts off. Just a regular piston with Conrad. So they are generic pistons, but the engine is not generic. Okay, gotcha. Still not too bad. We're gonna make this thing better than when we found it. Let's put it that way. Alright. That's it on the teardown. Get the crankshaft fixed up. Put those back on the stand, and then we'll make a master list of parts that we need. Okay. Yeah, not a huge amount of parts, but we'll be here for a while. All right, let's make an inventory. Okay, we got our inventory. Rid of the parts we can't, or rather don't want to fix. Have to be careful with my wording there. Okay. Right, because I immediately went to the bench because I was thinking parts. All right, let's go shopping. See how many of these we can get from here. So we definitely need spark plugs. Rod cap, nope. Alternator, sure. Intake manifold, yes, please. Rocker arm, I don't think, yeah. Timing cover, no. Timing chain, ignition wires, yes. Engine head, absolutely. 9%, nice. Camshaft, thank you. Timing chain, throttle, definitely throttle. Oh, yeah, radiator fan's not a performance part. Fuel injector is. Belt, no. Piston rings, no. Timing cover, no. Ignition distributor, yes, please. Filter, yep. Bearing cap, no. Pulley, rocker arm, I don't, yeah, that's not on the list either. Water pump, no. Distributor, yes, please. Clutch plate, yep. Pulley, no. Head cover, no, that's just a cover part. Distributor cap, oh, nope. Distributor, distributor cap, there we go. I accidentally clicked search. Okay. Flywheel, pressure plate, pistons with connecting rod, go. Timing cover, nope. Cam gear, clip B, no. Ball pan, release bearing, turbo, 7% increase, nice. Exhaust manifold. All right, I think the rest of this are standard off-the-shelf parts. So we'll do that. Go back here. Get the rest. So 4 rod caps. Need a rocker arm A. Timing cover C. 2 timing chain shoes. Timing chain. Okay, brand new radiator fan. Serpentine belt. Okay, got a full set of piston rings. Brand new timing cover. 3 crankshaft bearing caps. Crankshaft pulley. Good old rocker arm. B there, okay. Water pump. And the pulley. Head cover. Okay, here's our other timing cover. Cam gear. 2 clips for the distributor. Adapter arm. Come on. Ball pan. Okay, got your release bearing. Serpentine belt. And an oil filter. Okay. Go ahead and put the clutch parts on. I'll also put the fuel filter in place while I'm there. Okay, got the pistons in place. I just need to put the caps on everything. go. Put the whole pan on, then we can write the engine. All right, good to go on that. Now we get the engine head put on. Get these spark plugs put in there before I forget. Okay. Glass manifold installed. Good to go. Get this distributor cap put together. I was going to say we need to come down there because we need to take care of the front of the engine real quick. Yeah, it's coming along nicely. Okay, get that alternator installed finally. And radiator fan. Okay, got the other timing cover finally. Good. And the engine head cover. Okay, and wires. Take a look here, make sure we don't have anything else. Doesn't look like it. Look at that. Compared to how she started, looks a hell of a lot better now. Probably run a hell of a lot better too. All right, get that off there. All right, let's drop her back in. Sure we're not missing anything here. Looks like we got green 100% across the board. And that can go away now. Positively badass. Okay, let's check the stats. We are at 92%. So we're darn close, which is the truth actually, because we're just needing to take care of the stuff in the engine compartment, and that is it. Oh, that is a weird configuration for an air filter. Oh. Okay, got all the fuses out. It looks like, take a quick pass around just to be sure, but it looks like we got everything else out of the engine compartment. So yeah, let's go see what we can fix. I know I can fix the battery. Keep forgetting to do this. cool. One less thing we gotta fix. Or replace, rather. And there we go. Oh, almost. Now we're good. Looking pretty good there. Not very many things to buy. That's good. Sell parts. Sell anything that's not 100% essentially. And let's go shopping. Let's go to the electronics shop first because we need those relays and fuses. So 2 relay type C's. 3 relay type A's. And okay, fuse type B. Good. Fuse type A. Got you. And fuse type C. Okay, the air filter is a performance part, so we'll need to go over here. Grab that. It's an extra 1%. But, you know, still good. And washer reservoir. Get the air filter put in first. These little clips are always fun to put back in, both in the game and real life. Alright, let's drop these fuses in. Okay, the battery and servo. Okay, we'll take care of this undercarriage stuff here in a minute. I just want to get like everything up here taken care of. So that should be all we have. We do. Okay, so start topping off the fluids here. Let's do the coolant next. Take care of the brake fluid. Okay, like I said, we don't have to worry about power steering, so there's no power steering reservoir. We've got the coolant, we've got the oil, we've got the washer fluid, and the brake fluid. So that should be everything here. Put the hood down. Get this up in the air one last time, and we'll put the gearbox on, starter, and the last little fiddly bits here. The drive shaft. For some reason the name escaped me. I'm just like, yeah. You can tell I'm tired. Alright. That's everything out of my inventory. And we're at 100% condition for everything. All right, let's get her on the ground. All right, let's get you over to the alignment rack. Oof, this one's way off. Cool. Give a quick headlight adjustment here. All right, everything's aligned. And now we should be able to just go right to the dyno. See what kind of numbers we get out of this beastie. All right, so 170 horsepower, 173 pound-feet of torque. Out of the factory, let's see what we get. Game? There we go. Had to hit the button a couple times. Like, why don't you go? And that's 170 with a turbo, by the way. 274 horsepower, so a gain of 104. Not bad. 266 pound-feet of torque, so a gain of 94. Again, respectable numbers, especially given the size of the engine. All right, let's move you outside. I want to get some pictures. Okay, that one's going on in the thumbnail for the video. Good. All right, let's get in. And speed trap. Again, 4-cylinder engine, even with a turbo, don't expect miracles. But we should be able to get a pretty good speed out of this, even for the size. Alright, let's go. Okay, we're at 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. Come on. You can do it. 120. Ah, we topped out at about 120, it looks like. Okay. Yeah, 120 is not bad. I mean, it's going to have some get up and go on the highway. Might make a good track car. I mean, you don't need top speed for that. You need agility and a bunch of other things in order to do well on a track. Okay. This has been a fun little build here. Yeah. Let's take a look at the numbers. So, you can see the parts, body, performance values, how that stuff factors in, condition bonus. I bought it for 58.8. Yeah, even in that condition, it was almost 60. We're selling it for 175 6 for a profit of 116.8. So what? Almost triple my money? Not bad, not bad. Made a healthy bit of money on that one. Alright. Let's do some house cleaning here. So we got ourselves, for the next video, a 79 BMW M1 Pro car. As you see, she is, well, let's just say, needs work. Needs improvement. But yeah, we're going to be doing that one next, so we'll move it over. We're going to take, excuse me, this guy, which is the 88 BMW 635 CSI. We're going to give that the transporter routine. You know that movie. We're going to make it, I want to try to make it look like the preview here. She's not in super terrible shape and looks to be mostly parts complete, just needs a complete makeover. Make her, you know, factory good again. So let's move that into day 2. So that'll be 2 videos from now. And now we get to pull something out of parking, which is going to be the next car that we work on. And move to garage. I need to clean this one before the next video. But we got ourselves a 2002 BMW M3. Yeah. Missing half her stuff. The engine looks like it's mostly there. Kind of. Yeah, it's a mess. I'll get her cleaned up off camera, so we're going to move that here. That's 3 episodes out. And yeah. That's pretty much it for this video. So I want to thank everybody for watching, if indeed you still are. We've got some really good cars lined up. Might be some exciting builds. Definitely will be exciting builds, but might be some interesting results coming from some of these cars. And with that, turn you loose and see you guys in the next video. Later.